it's on them, but not for us.
After Thanksgiving, there should be a Christmas show going on here at the Comcast Center, and that's always a neat thing to see every year. It's pretty much the same cinematic show, if you will. It's they have the same Christmas songs, and the figures on the screen can look really 3D-ish, so they have like an acrobatic portion, not for the Christmas show, but for the regular. And it looks like real people swinging on a trapeze or whatever. So that'll be coming up soon. And speaking of, my brain went through a sort of thing this afternoon, which it kind of does kind of often because of whatever started in 2011, that is intended to kill someone. I don't mean to sound like I'm not over-exaggerating. It was really bad. And very bizarre behavior, harassment, and all kinds of games are played. So anyway, but with that said, this afternoon I was thinking of two things. One, I was thinking of certain people, like cousins in my family, and, you know, others, you know, whether through marriage or what have you. I keep wondering, like, if they're proud of themselves as people because of the way they behaved, or how much they sort of ran away from the issue. Like, I was afraid to ask for help, or like to I didn't want to be a problem or look like a problem to anyone, but there's people out there, and I do wonder every day, like, are they proud of themselves? And it comes down to things like wills and estates and properties, and they're okay leaving someone cold and homeless out on the street, not offering an ounce of help, even just to say, if you need to keep your things here, you know, whatever you decide to do because you have to move or whatever, things like that. Like, would you leave your mom on the street, or your sweet, nice cousin, or step-sibling, or stepdaughter? Would you want that person left on the street knowing full well that you spent your entire lives stealing from other people? So I kind of wondered, like, how do these people sleep at night? How do they put up with themselves? What do they tell themselves in their brains? And also another thing is, you know, it got to a certain point in my life where it's like, I really wanted to have that totally fulfilled life where you have a certain amount of friends, maybe you could even like host a Christmas party and so forth and so on, and have all that awesome stuff going on, you know, that sort of show of, you know, we're totally awesome, we have a bunch of people coming over for a Christmas party, we do this, we do that, we're go-getters, we're never depressed, we're never this, we're never that. And of course most people want to enjoy life more than not enjoy life, even though life has its peaks and valleys, ups and downs, and so forth and so on. In general, most of us want to enjoy life and not be in pain or hurting or sad, lonely, depressed, stuff like that. I happened to grow up in a divorced situation, child of divorce. So my sister and I didn't get to have our dad in the house. And we lived, you know, 95% of the time with our mom. And then every other weekend we would go to our dad's, although my sister kind of stopped at a certain age because there were too many issues and personality clashes, and you know, you have one side that's a little bit more liberal or free-spirited, and we thought a certain way, we handled things a certain way in our house, and in the other house a little bit more fascist, like police state or overly strict. So there's an argument of who actually causes, like say someone winds up coping with a fascist household by rebelling so much they wind up on the path of, you know, drugs or whatever. Who's really at fault? You know what I mean? So the fascist household would say, oh, you're too lenient over there. You know, your mom is a softie. She's a softie. It's like, well, actually, I think she might have been able to handle a situation better than the super self-righteous, strict fascist household. So anyway, I'm just sort of putting it out there. But point being, I'm wondering how these people sleep at night. I wonder what they think of themselves. I want to know if they feel proud of anything they've accomplished, or did they accomplish anything because they belong to more orchestrated communities and places where it's really super easy to find a little job that's cut out just for you, you know? I want to know if they're really proud of themselves. I want to know if they would want their daughter kicked to the curb in the freezing cold winter through no fault of her own, through being harassed to death and, you know, seemingly and potentially blackballed, so that wherever you turn, like, how would you like that to happen to you? Wherever you turn to look for a job so that you can have at least a small house or even a condo to invest in, something that where you own it more so than a property management landlord type situation. Would you want your daughters winding up in my situation? Or your son or whatever that you ignore all the time? That's for one cousin. So it's interesting. I grew up in a family where a lot of people actually prefer other people's kids over their own, or they paid more attention to somebody else's kids over their own kids. And I'm wondering if they're proud of that. But in the end, today I was thinking, I really wish I could have, you know, like, I want to be as awesome as other people are. You get to have a Christmas party, you entertain people, you go to this house, you go over here, you visit people, this, that, and the other. And I was kind of striving for that here in Philadelphia. And oddly, I thought I had met a bunch of people around 2007, 8, 9. I was involved in a lot of things, and even in 2010. And through that participation, I met all these people, and I was like, oh, I'm halfway, I'm like kind of happy. Look over here, there's the... and I was kind of excited because I was like, this is it. Like, I was running with a running group. I was even invited to say, like, Christmas holiday parties. And I guess that was 2008 or 9, 2009. I, you know, was on the Dragon Boat race team. I was doing all these things and meeting up, you know, for lunch or coffee or whatever with people. And it's like, that's what I was looking for. And then all of a sudden,